Hello and welcome. I am the Godless Engineer, and today we have a very special interview with Alyssa. You may know her as PoorOldKilgore on Twitter. And if you don't know her on Twitter, definitely go and follow her there, as well as subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's been on Twitter a lot longer, and she's just now getting started out on YouTube. And I know that she's already got a few videos up, so definitely go and check those out. Now, I'm just kind of curious there, Alyssa, why Poor Old Kilgore?
I am a huge fan of Kurt Vonnegut, and Kilgore Trout is in a lot of his books. So I just put together the name Poor Old Kilgore, and yeah, my Vonnegut reference that I like to use a lot.
Awesome.
It just kind of stuck.
I'm guessing that, of course, I've seen on your Twitter feed that you really like books. You like to read and whatnot. What are some of
Mhm.
your favorite authors?
Well, like I said, Vonnegut definitely. Uh, he's my big one. Um, I guess I'm like just a big fan of like the classics, like George Orwell and uh, Ray Bradbury and uh, who else? Uh,
Heinlein?
what?
Robert Heinlein?
No, I don't know his stuff too well. Um,
Okay.
who else do I like? J.D. Salinger. Uh, um, I love Woody Allen's short stories. Um, oh, Douglas Adams, of course. So,
Okay.
Hitchhiker's Guide. Who else do I like? Sometimes, like, questions like that, it's like, wait, what do I like?
Trust me, I know exactly how you feel. It's like it's like any other time. I know I can just rattle them off like a machine
Yeah.
gun, but now when I put on the spot, it's like what are words? Uh, but let's see. Tonight we're really here to talk about your experience with religion growing up, and what really pushed you to become an atheist and then finally come out as an atheist. So why don't we start with you and growing up as far as religion's concerned? Like, what was your experience?
Well, I grew up raised mostly Lutheran. My mom's side of the family was Lutheran, and kind of funny enough, my dad's side of the family, him and my grandparents um, were atheist, and there were a couple born again Christians in my dad's side too. So like, I kind of saw like a mix of things, and I didn't start going to church until I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. So I'd already kind of started thinking for myself beforehand. Like I've watched Star Trek before going to church. So I think that kind of it was always hard for like religion to really stick with me. I had some times of like trying to like really be a Christian because of like societal peer pressure, but like yeah, like it just didn't stick. Like I have a an older blog post called Cats and Disbelief, and how when I was a little kid, because I was so fascinated with cats and like cat evolution and the fact that the Egyptians worshipped cats as gods. Like I just couldn't. I just was like, oh wait, like Christianity is just like a myth, just like Egypt kind of stuff. So I figured that out kind of as a little kid, but it wasn't until like I was in my teens and like later on in college I really got into like atheism stuff. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you like take part in any kind of church activities when you were growing up or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I went to Sunday school, and I remember like a couple summers I did like the vacation Bible school kind of thing, and like day camp kind of church thing, and a couple like church retreat things when I went to like upstate New York. Like I remember like the actual trip was fun, but then like the times when I had to like meet up for like the church, the Bible discussions during the trip, it was awful. But I remember that was a moment when like shit seemed really crazy to me. It was the first time like revelations and end time stuff was like explained by like church people to us, and it was like it was really weird because like they brought us to this one like um kind of family room, sit around a TV, watched this thing about the end times, and then it was like midnight, and I was just like, why is it so late at night and showing us this creepy video about like the end of the world? And it was weird because like I mostly grew up with like really, really liberal Lutheran, and I wasn't like, it wasn't like hardcore stick to the Bible kind of thing. So yeah, my family eventually left that church. So, but that was a big moment of like, this shit is really freaky to me. So, and I think I was like 14 or something. So.
Well, I know when I guess I was right around that age. The first time that I had really encountered like this whole end of the world concept with Christianity was like I turned the TV on and it like perfectly came on at this point in the original Left Behind movie, where
Oh
like it was
god.
showing all of these disasters around the world, and I'm like, holy shit, what is going on? And they started mentioning God and all this stuff, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is real? What? And like I had a total like I guess it was War of the Worlds moment
Hmm.
when I guess Orwell right
Hmm.
originally broadcasted it, and he had
It was
everybody
ace.
thinking that
Yeah.
that the aliens were invading, and so like
Yeah.
I had a total moment like that. And so it was really strange. What about your family? Like I know that you said that your family had left that kind of crazy end of the world kind of thing, but are they still
Yeah, well, like
religious?
the church itself wasn't that crazy. It was just like out of yeah, that experience was weird. But they weren't too hard that church wasn't too hardcore about that sort of thing, but yeah, my parents um my mom and my stepdad like still consider themselves Christian, but they don't go to church anymore. They're just kind of like we can spend our Sunday mornings sleeping in and we can believe in our own way kind of thing. And I have an older brother who's actually an engineer, and he's really smart. And he was kind of an atheist like before I was. Like I guess I always kind of was a bit, but my my brother was kind of more vocal about it at times. Like when he was going through confirmation, I did. I was baptized and did communion, but I didn't do confirmation. My brother went through all that. When my brother was being confirmed, like going through all the classes and stuff, I guess he was asking lots of questions and whatnot, and people running it like went to my parents and were like, we're not sure if we can confirm him, and because we're not sure if he's like really into this kind of stuff. And my mom was like, I drove him to this stupid thing every week. You're just gonna like put him through this, and then like that's like one of the reasons why my parents were like, okay, we're done with this. This is so silly, and so I was never confirmed. My stepdad still had moments of being like, you should go back and get confirmed, and I'm like, what is it? What's this? I don't get this. I don't understand the weird ceremonies of and like I'm Lutheran. It's like way more simple than like Catholic stuff. Catholic stuff is just like whoa.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking to a guy that was Catholic up until I was about I don't know about 10 or so, and
Hmm.
and and then we started basically church searching for an appropriate place.
Hmm.
So yeah, like with the it was really weird with the confirmation stuff because I went to a Catholic school up until about the fifth grade,
Hmm.
and you know, with the confirmation stuff, like we had to do stuff at home. I mean, this was like a full on class, and like
Yeah,
it was really weird to get like the ash put on our head, and I'm
yeah.
just sitting there like
In the part of yeah, in the part of Jersey I'm in, like there's tons of Catholics around. Like the where I went to high school, there was a Catholic church right across the street, and a bunch of the kids that were doing the CCD or whatever, they would get to like leave school like so much like early, like a certain couple days of the week, and I remember like being really jealous every time, being like, "Oh, the Catholic kids get to leave early," and yeah, Catholic stuff is just it was always confusing to me as a Lutheran kid because I came from like I lived in Michigan until I was like 9 years old and moved to Jersey. So like Michigan to Jersey, very very different. So I think also like being exposed to like different religions and cultures and whatnot kind of just makes you question things more. So.
Well, trust me when I say that even Catholics are confused about what the fuck they're doing. That's why every mass is very structured, and like you come in, you sing 3 hymns, and then you get told how you're going to go to hell, and then you you get forgiven by God through the priest or something, and then you sing some more songs, and then you go to lunch. That's pretty much my experience.
See, sometimes I miss Lutheran Church because they had really nice buffets. So. Like, Midwestern potlucks are really, really good, and Lutheran ladies know how to cook. So.
Well, now you had said that your brother, who's an engineer now, actually started questioning religion way before you, or started being a lot more vocal about his doubts.
I always kind of questioned religion, but my brother was more like vocal about it to like my mom and stuff. So.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I'm kind of curious, like when I know that you said you didn't really buy into it all that much when you were young, because you were kind of exposed to, a little bit more out of the box thinking, I guess, compared to most religious kids. So, I mean, when would you say that it kind of clicked with you that you really didn't believe and whatnot?
It's hard. I'm one of those like atheists where I'm like I don't know exactly when I just was like, oh, I'm done with this. But I guess it might have been I kind of got more of the like oomph behind me when I was in college and getting really interested in philosophy. Like I almost minored in philosophy, but then I just didn't. I took a few philosophy classes though. But yeah, it was because of that and like just reading the basics of what atheism is. I was like, oh wait, I'm an atheist. And then also being a sociology major, and one of the reasons why I got interested in sociology was because of just kind of interested in the problems of the world, I guess. Like Sam Harris always kind of points to like 9/11, and for me living in northern New Jersey and like knowing people affected by all that, like I think that was a big impact on me as a kid, like learning early on like religion is really bad and why is it. I just kind of had this moment of like society needs to be fixed, and yeah. I sound like a crazy person just rambling on.
No, you're fine. So I guess there really wasn't any kind of like straw that broke the camel's back that made you realize that you were an atheist or anything. You just gradually came into it.
Yeah, it was just kind of a slow progression for me. Like my dad is an atheist too, and I kind of would like talk to him a little bit about like different religions and stuff, and so I got like the different views and thought for myself a lot, and I definitely think like being into nerdy stuff like Star Trek and The Simpsons and like Kids in the Hall and whatnot like really kind of just made me fine with like kind of saying things that and South Park too, of course, like being fine with like saying things that people might not be okay with. Like I've kind of always been okay with like offending people a little bit, so
Well, I say that's exactly opposite to my problem. I was always too worried about offending somebody. But
See, I had a lot of times in classes in college when like religion kind of debates came up, and even though I'm a really shy person, I would just be stubborn and sticking to like, but I am right about this point, and yeah.
No, yeah, I had a similar instance like that at work, because I we for some reason at work in our cubicle field, um, people would bring up religion occasionally, and I would jump in and just give my 2 cents about it, and like they were talking about climate change, not even really religion, but like they would talk about all these really insane ideas about climate change, and I would just be like, okay, but you realize that that's not what climate change is, and they would be like, I don't believe it, and they would start yelling at me, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, we should not talk about this if that's how it's going to be. And it always ended with like me getting yelled at, and like the guy, whoever I was talking to, coming back and apologizing to me for like bursting out. So I always thought that was funny. But so, was there any certain thing that really made you want to start be a bit more vocal about it? Because I mean, you've got 29,000 followers on your Twitter.
What?
So
How many followers do I have?
uh, I believe it's 29,000. Hold on.
No, it's just like it's like 14 or something.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah, it's not
could
that many. Jeez.
I could have sworn that it was like 29,000.
Oh my God, no, you just like doubled it or something. So
Oh, did I? Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. 14.
it's
You should
okay.
have 29,000. That's what you should have. Anyways, but when did you become a bit more vocal about it? Like, instead of I guess only taking part in conversations that were already happening, but like starting your own.
Um, well, I guess well, I started my blog like about 2 years ago or so, and it was mostly because I just kind of saw other atheists online doing stuff, and I was like, I want to put my 2 cents in, and my I also kind of got the idea for the blog from I had a philosophy of religion class, and my professor was Dan Finkel, and I don't ever know if I say his last name right. And he blogs at Pathos, Camels with Hammers. So I just was like, oh, like I should blog like my professor does, and um, yeah, I've just kind of I really think that religion should be reasoned away from society. We don't need it anymore. It's useless and it's holding us back. And I don't want to ban religion. I just want to reason with people, and uh, also show that atheists aren't bad people. I get really tired of all the negative stereotypes about atheists, and um, I I just think people could live more positive and happy lives without religion. So,
So basically, you hate God's Not Dead too. I got it.
oh yeah, yeah.
um, so what motivated you to start up this YouTube channel and start being like on camera and putting it out there on that medium?
Well, I've wanted to do this for a while, but I'm also really shy, and getting comfortable in front of a camera has been pretty hard. And but at the same time, I'm like, what do I have to lose? I might as well try. And I think there should be more female voices out there for the atheist movement, and I thought I might as well. And I've really been interested in things related to religion and atheism for a while now. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, did you find yourself like researching different atheist topics? Because I mean, I know that's what I did. Like,
Mhm.
like the
See,
morality argument and everything.
even when I was like a little kid, like even before I was really into like atheist stuff, I was always just looking up different religions and stuff. Like my stepdad works in the city, and he used to come home with like the pamphlets from like Jehovah's Witnesses and Hare Krishnas and whatnot, like that would hand out in the subways, and also like even Scientologists and things like that, and um, there were times where like we were walking through Chinatown and we just would stop in the Buddhist temple. So I've just always been interested in just researching religion and kind of just different cultures in general. I think that's why I have a sociology degree. So the whole interest in society and whatnot. So
Okay. So you have a sociology degree.
yeah, just a bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I've got a bachelor's in computer engineering, but then a master's in software engineering.
Hmm.
And the only reason why I have a master's is because my work paid for it. So I was like,
Hmm.
why not, right?
Yeah.
Um, but so, are you vocal like in your daytime job now at all about your atheism?
Well, with my daytime job, I'm a personal care assistant for a disabled girl. So I'm very vocal with her, but we're really close, and like we basically match up like on many views and whatnot. So that's not really a problem. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I actually have another job making gelato, and I do that like once or twice a week. Um, so and yeah, my boss there like knows about this and everything and is cool with it. So yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
I'm
he's also very atheist. So yeah,
okay. Well, I'm kind of curious. Is there a way that you could compare yourself now, being a really out atheist, to back when you were, I guess, kind of sort of religious, or at least in that religious kind of environment? Like, is there any big difference between those two times for you?
um, hmm, I I guess I'm more vocal now. I used to definitely not be as confident with the things I was saying. But I think it's partially because I've really, really researched things. Like when it came to like just the typical like read the Bible kind of shit. Like I actually read the Bible for myself, and like I feel like I can hold my own having a discussion as opposed to like back when I was like trying to be a Christian. And like I had a moment when I was like maybe 18 or 19 or so when I tried to like go back to churches. Like I went to like some really liberal churches. Like I went to this one kind of like hip one in the city with like lots of hipsters and like tattooed people. And then I was just like, she was like looking at I was like, okay, I need to just really be honest with myself. Like I never really believed this, and like these people are big hypocrites. Like if they're actually like believing in the Bible. And yeah, I just could never. I tried to pick it up, but yeah, I don't know if I'm too different from then, but yeah, I'm definitely more confident in myself. So
Yeah,
because
that's
I
very
definitely
good.
think like there's kind of something to being atheist and humanist and whatnot that can kind of be more empowering than being religious, I think. So there's kind of more like belief in yourself kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, if there's anything that you could say to like a young atheist, maybe he's not out or she's not out,
Mhm.
what's one thing that you could say to them right now, if you could?
Well, the more of us that are out and vocal, the less stigma there will be about being an atheist. And just, especially if you're a good person, a good example of being a good moral and nice person, be an out atheist because you'll help us. You'll help the uh, in the long run. People seeing that atheists are good. My dog is like licking me a bunch right now. In the long run, when people can see that atheists are just good people, they can also start thinking about being atheists because, or just atheism in general, because a lot of times, like with the whole demonization of atheists, like you said God's not dead too, and well, God's not dead. It's shit like that makes people not even want to think about the atheistic arguments, just because they go like, oh, but they're horrible, immoral people, so I shouldn't even listen to them. It's just it just shuts down the conversation, and we need more vocal people, so that conversation doesn't keep shutting down so much. We can't be scared.
Yeah. Well, I know that you, say that you're more of a militant atheist, and speaking of God's not dead too, and God's not dead. I mean, they pretty much portray all atheists as being the very loud and angry and all this. And what most Christians would say is a militant atheist. I'm just kind of curious what being a militant atheist means to you.
Well, to me, it's just that I really care about being an atheist. I really care about the intellectual honesty to the arguments I have for why I don't believe in a God, and I really, really care about wanting the bad things that are associated with religion to go away, like just like kids dying from their parents not wanting to take them to doctors because they were faith healed instead, or witch hunts in other countries, and there's so much awful things connected to religion, terrorism, of course, and I think I'm militant about it because I think about it a lot, and I really, really care about it. So, yeah. I kind of also like to say militant since I'm, like, very inspired by Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins and those types of people that are considered militant, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say that militant, to be a militant atheist is more or less like you're not scared to speak out against such atrocities that happen, and you just letting your voice be heard, it's not being angry or being...
I'm not afraid to offend. That's basically it. So.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you can't be afraid to offend somebody, because a lot of Christians are offended just by you saying, that you don't believe in God. And so, I mean, you really have to stop being so concerned about, offending somebody else. Well, as you know, there are about 6 states in the United States that actually protect parents, faith healing parents, even if they kill their kid. The most recent one is the parents that tried to heal. They were trying to heal their son or daughter using maple syrup. I'm just kind of curious, what are your thoughts on the faith healing communities in those states, and maybe those laws that kind of shield those parents from, the crimes that they're actually committing?
I definitely think it's wrong, and it's child abuse, and those laws definitely need to be changed. Like there's no other way around it. Anytime that those laws that protect those parents are defended, I just can't understand it. It's very simple. I think it's very cut and dry. It's child abuse. Just stop it. Like.
Yeah, well, how do you feel about, like, the parents that get brought into court, but then they're let out, like they're not charged, and then they kill yet another kid?
It's just such a can of worms there. I definitely think we need better laws to protect children from this kind of stuff in general. So
a lot of people, a lot of people hide behind the First Amendment, like the free exercise of religion and whatnot. I mean, do you really think that this could be a First Amendment issue, or?
I, see, when it comes to like the life of a child, I don't think we should take into account somebody's freedom of belief. It if it comes down to a child's life needs saving, like the state should be able to intervene in some way. Um, like there's some, I think there was a case in Pennsylvania where like Amish parents had to like bring their kid in for like chemo treatments because like uh, Pennsylvania was considering it child abuse that they weren't gonna treat their child. I don't remember like the exacts of this one, but yeah, that is what should happen. There should be steps taken to prevent that kind of, it shouldn't be the parents being taken in because the kid died. There should be some sort of social worker intervention, I think. So, but
Yeah, and
yeah,
honestly,
it's just unbelievable to me that religious people get all up in arms about abortion, which is not a fucking person, but faith healing, okay, that it was their freedom of religion and choice. Just
but yeah, and there's actually one sect in Idaho, which is one of the states that protects parents from murdering their children in this fashion.
mhm,
One sect up there had a child mortality rate that was 10 times higher than the whole state of Idaho.
I think I
And
remember hearing about this.
yeah, and what I think is kind of odd is that it seems like either they're proving survival of the fittest, like their misconception of survival of the fittest, or God is sending them like a message, a clear message, in like one of the only ways that He knows how. And that's with
Yeah,
dead kids.
yeah.
And,
Go to the
and
hospital.
yeah, exactly. Which kind of brings us to like, because in that whole movement there is the whole anti-vax thing.
hmm
Um, and parents think that, well, I should be able to determine what stuff gets shoved. I don't want aluminum shoved in my kid and all this other stuff. And it amazes me how parents can really put their children's lives at risk, just because
Yeah,
they don't understand something so simple.
yeah.
um
Oh, it's awful.
yeah.
there there needs to be just better laws to protect children in general.
Well, kind of changing gears a little bit here to another topic is this rash of "In God We Trust" getting put on like public property, police vehicles and whatnot.
hmm
And so I'm kind of curious, how do you feel about the whole phrase "In God We Trust"?
I think it's stupid and it shouldn't be on any government property because we have separation of church and state, and that only happened in the 1950s because of the whole Red Scare and everything. Everybody should know that by now, but not everybody knows that, and it's pretty annoying. Um, so yeah, I we just stop putting it on things and take it off of things. So
So I,
yeah.
I guess you feel that it really is like a statement of faith.
Well, yeah,
In
I
general.
definitely think it's kind of state. It's at least the state declaring monotheism. It may not be the state declaring Christianity, but it's at least declaring monotheism. Because what about the poor polytheists? Like, what about Hindus? So we
Well,
can't do that. It's not fair. We should
well,
just have no God on things.
yeah. Which I support. There's a project out there called E Pluribus Unum, the original motto project.
hmm
And I really like the work that they're doing over there. But
hmm
to me, though, I feel that "In God We Trust" is very specific to Christianity.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, it is, but you can't exactly say that. So that's why I just kind of make the general like, well, it does point to monotheism at least. So, but no, if you look at the history of America and how we do have a lot of like Christian influences and whatnot, it is obviously pointing to the Abrahamic God. So,
right. Well, and I don't know if you know, but when "In God We Trust" was first coined was actually during the Civil War,
Yeah.
and that was to differentiate the Union troops from the Confederate troops to make it seem like
Hmm.
God was on the Union troop side, which seems kind of weird. How in like wars and football competitions and whatnot, they
Yeah.
always want to be like God's on our side, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that like God's up there watching hockey or something, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Also, like I said before, like the God thing wasn't pushed too much until like the 1950s with the Red Scare. Like there's a like how it wasn't in the Pledge of Allegiance until 1950 something. Because there's actually a Looney Tunes episode from I guess episode from like 1940 something where like they show. Oh, my dog is so stupid. There's like a Looney Tunes episode where they show the Pledge of Allegiance, and it's without God in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Oh, my dog's being stupid.
mine is too. Mine's going crazy in the floor. I don't know if you heard her a minute ago. She was squealing. Um, but let's see. There was another question I was going to ask. Uh, Crap. Hold on. I had it. uh, oh well. I'm sure you wouldn't mind coming on again if I have more questions to ask.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Of course not.
Well, it was great talking to you tonight, Alyssa.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
fun.
will, yeah, if you will, go ahead and pimp yourself, I guess, and let people know where they can find you and everything like that.
Yeah, my handle is PoorOldKilgore. Just look for that on Twitter and Instagram and my YouTube now. Subscribe to me, please, and watch my videos. And I only have a couple videos up there now, and I have a few things that'll be coming out soon. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, guys. Go down there in the description box, and you will find links to all of Alyssa's profiles. Right now, she has a couple of intro videos up on her channel, and one that's kind of covering Veggie Tales, which is really interesting. I really like that one. And so definitely go check those out. All linked down below. And Alyssa, it was great talking to you, and I can't wait to talk
It
to
was
you
fun.
again. All right. Well, again, I really